Khalil Mack gets voted in as the third best player in the entire NFL, but should he have been voted as number one? What is going on, y'all? Five Sports Hall back at it with another video talking, of course, some NFL. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. Make sure to go ahead and subscribe by hitting the subscribe button down below. Turn on my post notifications because you don't want to miss out every time I post a new video, and I do so very, very often. Also, follow me on my social media links down below and on your screen for my Twitter and my Instagram. We could talk, debate, and just link up on there. So make sure to reach out to me as well on there. So with that being said, you guys see the topic for today's video. I'm fired up. There's a lot to talk about, so let's get right into it. So the NFL Top 100 list came out. It was finally revealed fully, which means we were able to see the top 5, top 10, top 1. And, of course, we all know this list is voted on by the players, in case you guys did not know. So this is literally voted on by the NFL players, how they evaluate and rate their peers. And so when you are thinking why or how this is ranked, it's by the NFL players. So I just want to point that out. So Aaron Donald gets the number 1 spot, okay? Aaron Donald gets the number 1 spot. Khalil Mack comes in at number 3. So a Chicago Bear and the top 5, which certainly feels nice. And we had 4 players actually in the top 100. We had Khalil Mack. We had Akeem Hicks, I believe, at 39. Eddie Jackson at 30. And I think we also had Kyle Fuller, at 95. So 4 Bears players come in the top 100, which was nice to see. But I really want to talk about Khalil Mack's ranking and whether or not it was accurate. And I do believe that Khalil Mack could have been moved up another spot. I think he could have been voted in or should have been the number 2 player in the entire NFL. The number 2 spot went to Drew Brees. Okay, now again, this has been ranked down by the players, but again, I have to kind of evaluate the list and see if I agree with it, right? And that's my thing. For the most part, the question really becomes, who would you rather want right now, Aaron Donald or Khalil Mack? And here's the thing. They're both phenomenal players, generational, once-in-a-lifetime, future Hall of Fame players. We know this, but they do play different positions, Donald being a defensive lineman and Khalil Mack being an outside linebacker. So take that into account. But as of right now, coming off of this season, Khalil Mack, as good as he is not been as good as Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald has been dominant, and I do believe him being voted in as the best player in the NFL is, basically accurate. I do think that because of the dominant season he had last season, and his numbers compared to Khalil Mack. As much as I love Khalil Mack, and we all know how good he is, his numbers just weren't as good. We're going to take a look at the numbers right here on the whiteboard. So I've got Aaron Donald's numbers from last year at 20.5 sacks, which led the league, and he won Defensive Player of the Year. 41 tackles, 4 forced fumbles, 2 fumble returns, and played a full 16 games, okay? Khalil Mack, on the other hand, 12.5 sacks. Now, again, keep that in mind with Khalil Mack only playing 14 games, so he could have had more sacks. But Donald being an interior lineman versus Khalil Mack being a linebacker makes this a lot more impressive, of course, on Aaron Donald's side. 37 tackles, 6 forced fumbles, 1 fumble return, or he did also have 1 interception. We all remember that against the Packers in Game 1 last year. So, statistically, it is Aaron Donald, folks. And you know what? I'm okay with it. But I will say, I do believe Khalil Mack should have been at the number 2 spot. They put Drew Brees at the number 2 spot, and Drew Brees is fantastic, future Hall of Famer. We get all that. But Drew Brees, right now, going into this season, coming off last season, I don't believe he's better than Khalil Mack. And it's so hard to compare positions. But Drew Brees was ranked ahead of Patrick Mahomes, which is very debatable. Again, this is not a Lifetime Achievement Award. I want people to know that. This is a right now, going into this coming season, who is the best players or who are the best players. And Drew Brees, to me, is just not as good as Khalil Mack is in terms of overall positions, okay? So to me, I would have moved up Khalil Mack a spot to number 2, but I'm A-okay with Aaron Donald having that number 1 spot because he had a much more dominant season than Khalil Mack. I believe Khalil Mack will have something to say about that this season, but that is something we will have to see. But for the most part, I'm okay with the rankings other than that. So Khalil Mack, move him up to the 2 spot, leave Donald there. Move Drew Brees down, folks. I believe Patrick Mahomes came in at 4. He could have been at number 3 And I would have been okay with that, okay? And I would have been more okay with Patrick Mahomes at number 2 than Drew Brees there, okay? But again, it is debatable. That's how I feel, though. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys agree with Khalil Mack being at number 3? Should it have been higher? Should it have been lower? Is Aaron Donald really the best player in the NFL? Let me know down below. Drew Brees, Patrick Mahomes. Do you agree with those rankings? Let me know all that down below, folks. Let's talk about it. Let's debate. As always, thanks for watching.